In this 4-part tutorial, I wanted to share my workflow of implementing 3D scans into 3D workflow. So let's say you bought a 3D scan from something like Textures XYZ. You have all those awesome textures and cool model. And in this tutorial, I wanted to show you how to create custom DAZ morph. And with that, you will have control in posing and, let's say, the facial expressions. So that's the cool part. And then I'm going to show you how to bring it into Cinema 4D and render it with Redshift. So first of all, you want to start with your standard figure. So you want to go to DAZ, people, in this case Genesis 8 male, and we want to have Genesis 8.1 basic male. If you saw my previous tutorials, this is standard. We go to parameters, killing subdivisions, removing eyelashes, tier, and we export this figure as, in my case I already exported it, but you export it as OBJ. And next step will be bringing your figure into Zbrush. You do it by import and the OBJ you created, click on it and bring it into your Zbrush. And let's bring our scan into the same tool as a subtool. So I'm going to bring random shape first and then click import. And I want my eyes open, and here's the face. I'm going to approximately match it with the face of my character. I want my eyes to match as much as possible. Cool. And here I'm going to save it. Okay, so before we move on, I want to prepare the mesh. I need to isolate some parts of the face so they're not projected. Let's start by going to polygroups. Click Shift F to reveal the mesh. And here I'm going to click on outer group with UVs. So now my polygroups matching my UVs. And if you take a look in here, we have lots of things going on which we don't want to have. So I'm going to select all of it and do Ctrl W to bring it as one subtool. And with Shift Control and drag and drop on the empty canvas, I can invert my visibility. Okay, so and here, if you look closely, we're going to turn on display properties. I also want to isolate this and this part. It, as shown, as my experience shown, usually is very troublesome. So I'm going to go to Z Modeler, hover over polygon and do polygroup border and polygroup. So I want it to be a different polygroup. Cool. I'm going to click on it, and as you can see, this border we still need to have in a good polygroup. Okay, so now we can do this, and at this point our mesh is prepared. Okay, so let's go in here. Kinda need to do the same. So I'm going to hide the backside, click visibility double, and go to Z modeler, and in this case let's switch to polyloop. And now island, polygroup island. Cool. And now let's do polygroup border. Okay, so I'm going to give this a different polygroup, and this one a different polygroup. I'm going to remove the backside again. So I want to isolate more of this. Cool. So here I'm going to remove all of this and just trying to isolate on the mouth. Control W to assign polygroup, and now my eyes and my mouth, good. This is separate polygroup. Okay, cool. Our preparation is almost completed. One more thing I'm going to do. I'm going to match my neck area, so later on when I project stuff it doesn't do anything funny. And I know our body doesn't match now, we're only doing head morph in this case. I'm masking this area, inverting it with Control I and saying project. Cool. And here we can smooth this area a little bit with Shift. I know this may be not looking very good, but again, as I said, only head morph. Okay, I like it better. Cool. Now let's again save it. And let's try to do our morph. So in this head, I'm going to delete. No, I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to mask it. And in this case, I'm going to do this. Turn down symmetry. Okay. Cool. Let's try to do our Zwrap. As you can see, there's this Zwrap plugin. It has 30 days free trial. It's awesome. You need to have two subtools. One which is going to be projected on the second one. So we're going to project this head, and it will mimic the shape of this head. And for this, we click Start Zwrap. One more thing before we move on, you want to do morph target. Very important when things will go south. Store morph target so you can come back to original shape. So the plugin, Start Zwrap. Cool. And in here, let's create some reference points. Very straightforward. Okay, let's see how it will turn out. Okay, it's not looking bad. I think we have this issue with our mouth because masking went too far. So let's try to do this and remove some of the selection and just use projection. So again, Z modeler and polyloop. Okay. And let's do project. Don't forget to turn on visibility. So this is cool. As you can see, my eyes do not match this new face. Let's move the eyes. So clicking here, giving my eyes separate polygroup again. I'm going to use move tool and make sure that it's only affecting polygroups. So for that, auto masking polygroup. So now we can move only polygroup, and I'm removing my symmetry. So Okay, now I want to move my eyes only, and for that I'm going to need to isolate them as a separate polygroups again. So for that, I'm going to select the eyes, and with Shift Control A, it's grow all, and now I assign them separate polygroup, and now it's only eyes. So now we can adjust those. The placement of the iris is actually important. You do not see it now, but when you start texturing it, this part will be your iris. So make sure it's placed correctly, otherwise it will look kind of cross-eyed. Cool. And here we see there are some issues. Which I remove with Shift. See what's happening inside. Yeah, corners of the mouth always is a little bit tricky. So I'm just cleaning up with Shift. Cool. So here we go. This is looking good. So we can bring this one as our morph for DAZ. But before that, I want to make sure everything on the body stayed the same. So I'm going to get my morph brush. And yeah, that's what sometimes happens. Like when you do Zwrap, the entire body shifts a little in a couple of degrees, and you want to avoid it, because otherwise in DAZ, entire body will have that angle, and it will be impossible to work with posing and stuff. So cool. So our morph is good to go. Let's again save our Zbrush. Let's export our new morph file. In my case, we'll create new folder. Called it morph from Z. And let's see if it will work. So I'm going to bring this morph into the DAZ by File. Let's click on the figure. By Edit, Figure, Morph Loader Pro. Choose Morph File, and let's find this morph. Accept. Successfully. Yay. So nothing changed here, but we have this new morph, and it's doing something funny with the mouth. I'll go check what's happening. and we'll adjust eyes a little bit more. I don't want to touch eyelids for now, because I'm also hoping to project some textures on it. But you feel free to do that. It might be a good idea. Okay. Let's export it again. In this case, it will ask create a new name because we already have this. I'm going to call it head 030 because that's what was the name of the file from XYZ. Okay, let's bring this one. Cool. So better situation with eyes, better situation with mouth a little bit. Okay, and let's say I want this morph to be my morph in the regular library, not just in here. To do so, I'm going to set up new minimum, so it's only from 0 to 100%. All the names are fine. I'm going to move it into actor, head, yeah, and click accept. So this morph disappeared from here, but now if we go to actor and head, here's our morph. And to save it in the library for forever, we want to go to save as and support assets, morph assets, and product name head 030. And let's find, nope, head 030, that's what we're going to save. Everything is good, except. So now we can have a completely new Genesis 8. And if we go to heads, we see head 30 is here, and it's our custom morph.